So, hi Michael. I'm glad you can make it in today. How you
Hi.
doing?
Yeah, I could be better, but I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you can make it. I'm happy to meet you. It's good to
Nice.
meet you finally.
It's nice to meet you too.
So we spoke on the phone very briefly. You did give me a little bit of history about you, and there's some things I wanted to kind of get out the way before we start the session, if you don't mind. So what I have here is a packet of all the forms that you signed when you did your paperwork, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through it, and so you know if you have any questions, you can stop me and in the process. So just want to let you know that I am licensed in the state of Louisiana. Um, I'm a mental health clinical counselor. So, I am governed by a code of ethics. And what that means is that I have a duty, and we'll discuss that in a few minutes. But in this session, what we'll do is kind of get to know you a little bit and try to evaluate the needs that you have, and then also in your packet you have what's called a mental health bill of rights. So you have a copy there, and if you ever lose this package, which you can find this a copy on my website, and also in the lobby on my wall, um, as well as your confidentiality agreement. So, um, so I want to let you know that under state law, I have everything that you say here stays here. I want you to feel safe. This is a safe place.
Okay.
Okay, it's just gonna be true between you and me. There are times where I may need to disclose with other counselors, but they're bound by the same laws as I have. So I just want to let you know that. And also, there are some cases where I do have some instances where I will have to report, like if you ever tell me that you want to hurt yourself, or if you want to hurt someone else, um, as well as if there's any court litigation that needs to be look at your records, or proof or what have you. And then so you've been made aware of my fees and how our office does the billing and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
insurance coverage and all that. And so if you're in agreement with that, then we can proceed today. You okay with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right. And like I said, you do have copies of everything that we're going over today. So just so you know that I like to take notes because I'm very thorough with my reporting, to make sure that I don't miss anything. And at any time you feel like you want to look at my notes, then just by all means feel free to ask.
Okay.
So one thing I did want to bring up now is that, obviously there's differences between you and I. You're a man, I'm a woman, and I'm not gonna even pretend to make you think that I know anything about the military, because that's a whole nother culture in itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if at any time you feel like I'm not qualified, now I will tell you that I am highly qualified and trained in a lot of the areas that, deal with some of the aspects of the military. But as well, if I feel like I'm not competent to take your case or deal with some of the things, I will most definitely have that conversation with you, and then refer you out to someone else. But again, if you ever feel like I am not, up to your standards, by all means, we'll have that conversation as well.
Okay.
So, going forward, I think that's about it. Do you have any questions, anything else you'd like to?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, why don't you give me a little bit about what's going on? I mean, other than what you've already told me.
Yeah, like I said, me and my wife got in an argument I didn't really handle it how I should have, and it's been rough since then. I'm not in the house anymore. I don't really get to see my kids much because, you know, they're staying with her and I'm staying with my friend. It's been a rough time.
Right, okay. So from what you expressed on the phone, y'all had an incident, like you just said, and your kids were there.
Yeah, they were there. Man, I really wish they weren't there. Not that it would have made it better, but I can't believe they saw what I did. And I can't believe that I have to see them again.
Okay, what do you mean, like, what do you mean by you have to see them again? You can't believe you have to see them again?
Obviously, I'm gonna see them again, but I'm really struggling with the idea that after they saw me lay hands on their mom, you know, I have to face them. I have to kind of own up to what I did, and I have to, you know, see them again. That's really hard because I don't want them to think of me as different. You know, like it was a moment and I didn't handle it right, and I don't know. I wish it was different.
Right, okay. So, what can you tell me about the cause of like what started it? You know what?
So I had just had a really bad day at work. Me and my boss, we haven't really been seeing eye to eye because I'm military. He doesn't really understand, you know, certain aspects of it, and we were talking and we started arguing at work, and it was bad. So he sent me home, and there was talks about threatening to fire me, and I feel like I've been in this place where I've been so unstable with my jobs, and me and my wife, she saw that I got sent home early, so then she was talking to me and she was asking me what happened, and I just didn't know how to explain it to her, and I lost my temper, and I pushed her down, and I'm not proud of it, but I put my hands on my wife, and my kids were home, and they heard her. They heard us arguing, and then whenever my oldest walked out, it was at that moment, and I pushed her to the ground, and they saw it.
Okay. So, this is the first time that y'all have ever gotten physical, from what you've told me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We've argued before. We kind of have the same argument. It's not my first time, you know, getting sent home. It's not my first time having incidences where my boss, you know, threatens to fire me or send me home, and we fought before, so I don't understand why this one was different. I don't know why. I was so blinded. It was like white hot rage, and I didn't see my wife in an instant. It was just anger, and this was the first time that I've ever done anything like that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, but you know, I did it, and it hurts me to my core that my kids were there.
Right. So going back to, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna take steps at a time. So going back to the incident with your boss, would you say it's more of y'all have different viewpoints? Do y'all have different ways of looking at things?
I guess I just feel like he doesn't value the same things that I value, and you know, I'm a military man. I'm structured, and this particular incident was having to deal with another colleague, and me and him didn't see eye to eye on how he handled the situation. They're always late, and I'm a punctual man. I think that's important. And my boss has just been so lenient, so like just handing out slack to everyone. And I finally said something about it. You know, I felt like it was unfair that every day I come to work and I show up on time, and you know, Jim was late 5 times this week, and I finally had to say something, and I was like, you know, Jimmy's a good guy, but he's always late, and I just don't. It shows something about his character, you know. I don't like Jimmy, but me and my boss didn't see eye to eye, and I raised my voice, and you know, I kind of got loud with him, and then that's whenever he said, you know, if you don't control your temper, if you're gonna yell at me like that, I'm gonna send you home. So he sent me home.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, it sounds like, you know, you have a high standard, and it's a good thing. You're a good, you know, good worker, good work ethics. So it sounds like you struggle with the leniency, like you said, from your boss, and not handling things in the way that you think they should be handled. And I get that. I understand. I totally get that. And it's kind of just getting to you, and it's starting to affect your job, your and your home life for sure. So what do you do when you're like that day you got sent home? You had mentioned that you've been sober from drinking for 5 years, and one of the things that you and your wife fought about, you know, from the notes I got from your phone call, was, you know, not just the boss, you know, your boss's attitude, and but also you've been, you know, picking up, you know, a pack of beer here.
My wife, I know she's concerned about me, but sometimes it's just hard to maintain my sobriety. I've been sober for 5 years, but you know, I feel like lately I've been hopping from job to job. You know, I'm a mechanic, so I can kind of go shop to shop, and it's not really a big deal for me. You know, I can always find work. But when I have to deal with, you know, my bosses, and so many instances have happened where they send me home, or, you know, I just feel like I'm under a lot of stress. And one of the things I used to like to do to deal with stress was drink. And being 5 years sober, it's no different. I still want to have a drink here and now, but I know because my addiction is different. Which I pick up a pack of beer here and there, but I keep that pack, and I drink one a night, and I'm really, really good about it. And you know, one of the things that's kind of getting to me now is I'm not in the house, and I'm not really talking to any of them. I haven't really had a chance to, you know, fix things yet. So I'm staying with my friend, and he is a big drinker, and it's almost every night that, you know, he's sitting on the couch drinking a beer, and it's getting to me that, you know, I'm sober, and I'm trying to maintain it, and like I have a drink here and then, but I have it under control, you know. And I want to drink sometimes.
Right. I understand that, but you know, you've been through your 12-step programs, so you know that one drink usually leads to, you know, continuing that trend.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that. So you know, it's right that your wife is concerned, because, you know, she knew back then, and y'all worked through that. She's still with you, so that's something good to be said.
Yeah, that's why. I think that's why I feel the way I do, I guess, because she's always been good to me, even whenever I was in my heaviest drinking. We've always fought, but she's always, seen a better side to me. She's always seen the good in me, and, it really hurts me that it came to this, to where I actually hurt her, and on top of it, my kids seeing it, it was bad.
Right, I understand that. Okay, so the buddy you're living with or you're staying with right now, is he military or veteran?
Yeah, he's I met him down at the VA one day. We weren't deployed together, we weren't active together, but he had kind of seen some of the same things that I've seen, kind of been through some similar things, and we kind of related. He was at the VA, and he started doing my AA program with me, and he kind of fell off, but I stayed on it.
Right. Okay. Good. So, one of the things that I want to kind of suggest to you is maybe find a support group around here. How would you feel about going to a support group?
I feel like I've been needing to do it. I want to make things right. It's been hard not being at home, and I'm being tempted every day, but I think getting back into AA might be good for me.
I mean, it's a step, because right now you fear your children are gonna look at you in a different light. So we need to work on, getting you to that point where you're ready to speak to them face to face. One of the other things I want you to keep in mind is, you made the comment that you can always find a job. With you being in the military, y'all traveled a lot. So I'm sure that being here and, in your hometown where your wife is comfortable and, she knows people and, she's plugged in, then maybe that's something that, you ought to consider too.
Yeah. I guess I never really thought of it like that.
Okay. So what I want to do now, Michael, is I want to ask you, is there anything that you want to discuss any further right now? I mean, how do you feel our session went?
I think it's a start. I think it went good. I'll definitely seek out a support group to maybe get some further help.
I think that would be good. Definitely good. And have you talked to your wife since this happened?
The only thing we've really talked about is she checks in on me, and I've been able to tell her, I'm staying here, and she knows who I'm staying with. She's not too happy about it, but she checks on me, and we pretty much talk every night. She tells me she loves me, but we haven't been able to really talk about what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna come. We're gonna get to that. Right now, I want you to focus on, getting into that group, getting a good support system with that. Work on, your demeanor at work. We might even visit the idea of some anger management, targeted counseling with that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I've always had a temper. I feel like this event happening really opened my eyes to that. So I wouldn't be opposed doing something like that.
Good. So I think, let me phrase it this way. Do you think that, if your kids and your wife know that you're making these strides, that they'll not view you as a monster?
I hope so. I hope I can, I hope they know I'm trying. I hope if I show that I'm making an effort, that they'll be able to see me as, like, you know, as I was before this happened, because I'm not always angry. We have a good home life, but you know, like you said, if I can get my temper in check, I think it'd be better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then that's where we're gonna start, and you know, I look forward to our next session. You know, just keep in mind that, you know, it's a work in progress. You know, a little bit at a time. It's not gonna happen overnight. We do have some work ahead of us.
All right.
Thank you for coming in.